Now, back to more of Behind the Scenes at the Hanover Theater. And your host, Lisa Condon.
Thank you, everybody, for listening today. I am on the phone with Marcus John, who is one of the stars of Rent, the 20th anniversary tour, which is coming to the Hanover Theater April 5th through April 8th. It's generously sponsored by Bay State Savings Bank, and we really appreciate their help. And thank you for taking the time today. Marcus, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Now, so many people have seen Rent, but so many more people haven't seen Rent. And it's one of those shows that I have found that people who I'm talking to are really excited to share with kind of that next generation of audience member. Also, I think one of the exciting things is that the themes are still completely relevant. You have quite the history on Broadway and in theater. What really originally attracted you to the storyline and your role in Rent?
Well, like you said, this show is so important today just as it was 20 years ago, and I think that's really cool because I was so young when it first came out, so to have something like that, to be a part of a legacy like that is what really attracted me. At the core, it's a show about love and tolerance, and, that's something we need every single day of our lives, so I'm happy to share that message each night.
Absolutely, and it's funny because, of course, I went to your website, so for anybody listening, if you're interested, it's marcusjohn.weebly.com, and I love the quote that you have right there underneath your beautiful face, pray often, worry not. Is that something that you bring to your role with Rent as well?
Oh, absolutely. That's a quote that I started using in college, and it really just became my daily mantra that I share with people. We live in a world where crazy things are happening all the time, but I find if you just focus on prayer, focus on centering yourself, whatever you believe in, or just meditation and finding ways to survive the day without worrying, you'll be so much better off. Well, I think worry is a useless emotion. It doesn't bring us anything, So that's something I try to bring every night, whether it's nerves before the show in these different theaters or meeting new people. I think it's something we could all use.
Absolutely. So what are some of the things that you really learned during your time on the Rent tour?
Wow, so much. I think the first thing I had to learn was, like I said, it's a show about tolerance and acceptance. And, my character, a lot of people would call the villain, but I try to approach it as someone who just doesn't see things the way that everyone else does, but at the core, he's trying to, do right by everybody. He's trying to be more tolerant of these people that aren't, seeing things the way he does, or, So I think it's finding ways to adapt to people who see things differently and finding ways to still love them, though you might have conflicts.
Well, isn't that timeless in and of itself? It really is.
Yeah, I love it. I love every second of it.
We have some good resources for people who may be listening and aren't quite sure whether it's appropriate for younger audiences, if it would be a good idea to bring their 14-year-old. We do on our website, which is thehanovertheater.org. We have go behind the scenes. We have a parent and discussion guide. We also, for everybody listening, have a couple of special performances where we have enhanced audio descriptive services, as well as ASL interpretation. So check that out if you're interested in. I have to ask you, Marcus, if somebody asked you, is this show good for me to bring my teenager to? What would you tell them?
Absolutely. That's a question I get from my family a lot with, younger cousins who want to support me, but then my family's like, I don't know if I should bring them. I think it is. I think it might expose them to things, that they haven't seen yet, whether it be gay culture or, there is a character who is a drag queen in the show. But these are things that exist in our real world, and I don't see the benefit in hiding them from our children. I think it's important to introduce them and let them know that, this is someone that exists in our world who it's okay to love and it's okay to be a friend with, and there's no reason to hide that type of stuff. I will say there is a little bit of drug influence with characters who are battling with that sort of vice. But again, I take it as a learning tool. That's what theater's for, Obviously you have to make the decision for your child and for your family. But I think it's the perfect time to say, this is what these people are doing. Here's how we can do things differently so we don't end up like them.
And some people might be familiar with some of the music. The soundtrack is epic in and of itself. What are some of your favorite parts of this show? If there's one scene or a couple of key things that you want to make sure audiences are looking for, what would you recommend?
Everyone knows the song Seasons of Love. It was made famous when the show originated 20 years ago. Stevie Wonder did his cover of it. At the top of Act 2, the cast comes out and we stand completely in a straight line at the very edge of the stage. And we sing that song to you guys, and I think it's the most. I get chills just talking about it because everyone knows it's coming. They're already cheering. They're already crying. And just that, 3 minutes of sharing, not as actors or not as characters, but as actors just looking at the audience face to face and saying, hey, here's an option. What if we measure in love? And I look forward to that every single night. There are other 2 hours that can come and go.
I look forward to that, too. So if you want to join me at the Hanover Theater, Rent 20th Anniversary Tour is playing April 5th through April 8th. Tickets are available. Go to our website, The Hanover Theater, spelled with an RE.org. Marcus, I so appreciate your time. We're looking forward to seeing you on our stage. And everybody, stay tuned. We'll be back after this quick break here on WCRN AM 830, behind the scenes at the Hanover Theater.